welcome to another edition of Full Throttle, showcasing the very best in British motor racing. Today we're at Silverstone, the home of British motorsport, racing promoted by the BARC, the British Automobile Racing Club, running on the full Grand Prix circuit this weekend and on track at the moment, the first of two races for the Sports Prototype Cup. Dave Goddard here taking you through the action. Two 30-minute races today for the Sports Prototype Cup, a new initiative this year for all different classes of sports racers, from Le Mans cars downwards really. We've got a whole variety of different machines in the open class, and currently leading the way is Bonamy Grimes in his Duqueine LMP3 5-litre V8 engine car, being chased by Mike Genvy in his self-built Genvy Gun TS6. Two classes of car in this race, the open class and also the Revolution category for the Revolution A1 British-built sports car. It's Ford V6 engine. There's a Revolution. That's James Abbott's. That's an American spec car, however. That's running in the open class. He's in third place overall at the moment. First two going clear. Nice little battle further back. The white car going through there is Graham Charman at the wheel of his Juno sports car. The orange machine, Richard Chamberlain, in the CTR Developments CTR 01. That was designed by Richard's son Matthew. Fairly busy field of sports cars here, and a close battle between two Radical sports cars there. The two Radical SR3s, Steve Lake and Jason Rishover. Number 80 there, Richard Wells, also competed in the Britcar Endurance Series this season. First of two 30-minute races we have for the Sports Prototype Cup in the Silverstone sunshine. First two cars going fairly well clear. James Abbott in third place. And the battle for fourth, Graham Charman giving chase to, I think that's Bradley Ellis in the first of the Revolution cars, ex-Radical racer. It's Bon Grimes who leads Mike Genvy at the front of the field. The Duqueine LMP3 car, the French manufacturer, previously known as Norma. The car has competed in a number of different international sports car events, plus the LMP3 Cup in the UK. Bonamy Grimes began his career racing Ferraris. The travel businessman who's moved his way into motorsport over the last few years with Johnny Molam as his driver coach, the long-time sports car professional. Some of the Revolution A1 cars, a new car over the last couple of years. The Sports Prototype Cup in very high standing indeed, races internationally, as we've even seen the Revolution cars, among others, supporting Grand Prix over the last couple of years. It's Bon Grimes who leads. Mike Genvy from the West Midlands in second place. Very talented engineer and driver. Genvy car parts very popular in the car tuning scene around the UK, and he built this Genvy Gun TS6 himself. Has had a few reliability issues with it over the last couple of years. It's running well today, chasing Bon Grimes in the Le Mans Prototype 3 spec car for the lead. There's Graham Charman, number 5, in his Juno sports car, being chased by number 20. That's Andy Cummings and Bradley Ellis's shared car, driving in, one of them driving in each race. It's Bradley Ellis in the car for this race. They both used to race Radicals. Bradley Ellis is leading the Revolution A1 class. Very distinctive looking car, very smartly liveried as well for Bradley Ellis there, chasing Graham Charman. That's the battle for fourth place. Behind them, Richard Chamberlain, who's raced for many years in a Porsche 935 replica in GT events. Grimes has gone clear now of Mike Genvy to the tune of 9.2 seconds, with just over 2 minutes, just over 10 minutes, sorry, of this race to go. Number 80, Richard Wells, about to be lapped in his Revolution A1. Other cars we've got in the field, I mentioned Richard Chamberlain and the CTR 01, designed, built by his son Matthew. A couple of Radicals and also an MCR S2, driven by Andy Chittenden, a Sports 2000 spec car. So this championship series really does cater for just about any sports prototype you could think of. You could probably even enter an old Le Mans Group C car from the 80s and 90s if you had the means to do so. I've got a Le Mans spec car out there, the LMP3 of Bon Grimes. He's gone clear ahead of Mike Genvy. Long way back in third is James Abbott. And we've got Graham Charman in the Juno, Bradley Ellis in 5th position, then Richard Chamberlain. 7th behind them is Chris Short in the 2nd of the Revolution cars, then the Radical of Steve Lake, and the car of Jason Rishover, long-time Radical racer. The leader goes past the wing building and the Formula 1 pits. The car's using the old pits up by Cops Corner. That's where Bradley Ellis is at the moment, still giving chase to Graham Charman. There's the Juno. Seen a few Juno sports cars racing in open events over the last few years. They're not going to catch Bon Grimes here though, less than 9 minutes of the race to go now. Coming towards the end, the safety car has come out. It looks like we may have lost Graham Charman somewhere out on circuit. The safety car is out. There's the couple of lapped cars. There's the MCR, we mentioned the Sports 2000, the blue car, and there's only a few seconds on the clock now, so it looks like we are going to finish under safety car. It's going to be a win for Bon Grimes in the Duquesne LMP3. The rest of the cars come in, the result confirmed then for Sports Prototype Cup Race 1. The win going to Grimes ahead of Genvy with James Abbott 3rd, and Bradley Ellis wins the Revolution A1 class in 4th place. Richard Chamberlain rounding out the top 5 ahead of Chris Short, Steve Lake, Jason Rishover, a certain Sir Chris Hoy, and Matt Brooks completing the top 10 in race 1 of the Sports Prototype Cup.
Bon, we spoke a little bit earlier, didn't we, in the paddock, and look, what a beautiful car to drive. And hey, the only thing is though, Mike Genvy just wouldn't let you get away, would he?
Yeah. Well, I don't think this car is used to having a Citron C1 as a pace car going out, so the tyres were stone cold when we went into the first lap, so I just had to manage it a bit carefully, bring the tyres up to temperature on my first couple of laps, and then I had the legs really. But yeah, he gave me a go. He's a monster through sector too.
My word, isn't he,
I think he had purple through there. But yeah, once I got a rhythm going, it was fine, pretty easy. Just shame about safety car, but never mind.
It's not how we want to finish, but then again, we still had a good sort of 15 minutes of solid racing, didn't we? And you can't keep the smile off your face, can you, Luke?
Yeah,
you going to let me have a drive one day?
Yeah, why not?
Must be mad. Congratulations, Bon, well done.
Getting ready to grid the cars for the second race then, with Bon Grimes driving solo today, not with Johnny Molam, starting alongside James Abbott on the front row. Mike Genvy and Graham Charman will be on the second row. Olympic cycling legends Chris Hoy heading up the Revolution cars on row 3 alongside Richard Wells, then Chris Short and Stephen Lake on the 4th row. Jason Rishover and Matt Brooks completing the top 10 on the grid for race 2.
Time for race 2 of the Sports Prototype. What a cracking race we had in race 1, didn't we? As you can see, the cars just getting lined up. We've got Graham Charman here. Let's just grab a quick word with Graham if we can as well. Graham, how are we doing? Are you ready for this one?
Yeah, a bit more ready. The first one didn't really go quite to plan. Qualified 4th, dropped down to 5th.
Yeah.
Got it back up to 4th, and then made a stupid mistake and hit one of the bumps.
Oh no.
Broke the bodywork. And then that messed up the aerodynamics, and I ended up pushing too hard and spinning. So we've had a frantic lunch break. We've done some bodywork. The guys have been brilliant. And I find myself on P2, so here we go.
Here we go, look, a great attitude, another chance to make it right. You're gunning for this one then, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Good man, good man. Go get it, lovely. Let's keep going along. Over here we have Sir Chris Hoy. Let's grab a quick word with Sir Chris if we can. Obviously used to going fast, but you got familiar with these cars now. You were racing them last season as well. What's the expectation for you for race 2?
Well, just keeping our fingers crossed the issues we had with the engine aren't going to repeat themselves in the second race. But yeah. If the car is performing well, then fingers crossed it's just down to me.
Well, it's a very honest assessment. I mean, look, qualifying actually went very well, didn't it? You were pole in class. Can you get the class win?
Sorry, I missed that.
I say, can you get the class win? Because you qualified on pole, didn't you, earlier in the day in the class?
I think you just take it one lap at a time. You don't think too far ahead, and it's a cliche, but it's just get the start out of the way and then settle into the race and see what happens. But you're never thinking too far ahead, so you're certainly not thinking about winning or losing. You're just thinking about doing the best job that you can. Does it take long to get heat in these tyres? Of course, it's glorious weather today, isn't it? It's probably not ever going to be much better than this. Yeah, I think it'll be fine now. The sort of challenge will be to make sure they don't overinflate them and they get a bit too sketchy at the back towards the end of the race. So it'll be about trying to manage the tyres, about getting a clean start, getting up there, keeping in contact, and then taking your chances when you get them. Fantastic. Thanks for chatting to us. Best of luck for the race as well.
Race about to get underway then. here at Silverstone for the Sports Prototype Cup. The second race headed off by Bon Grimes and James Abbott. They are underway into Copse Corner for the first time. Moving up on the outside there nicely, Richard Wells in the yellow and white number 80 car, but it is Bon Grimes who has the lead. Mike Genvy straight through as expected into second place in his self-built machine. Graham Charman up there, dropped to the back after a problem towards the end of race one, was classified in 14th place in the end. The number 70 car there, that is Sir Chris Hoy, the Olympic cycling legend, going well. Number 20 now driven by Andy Cummings. He's taken over from Bradley Ellis, who won the class in that car in race one. It's Bon Grimes who leads. Mike Genvy having a look as they go into the very fast and daunting Stowe corner. Sweeping right-hander. Bon Grimes holds him off, the Welshman. Everybody else round okay behind. A change of car in the number 15, the orange CTR 01 as well. Matthew Chamberlain has taken over for race two, the car that he designed and built. For the Chamberlain family over the last couple of years. Revolution cars battling it out further down the order. And Andy Chittenden at the back in his MCR S2 as they fan out down what is the Formula One pit straight in front of the wing. Andy Cummings, the Midlands-based driver, moving his way through. There's Matthew Chamberlain, the orange machine, towards the back. Chase is on for Mike Genvy on the back of that LMP3 car, the Duquesne of Bonamy Grimes. Third place, the yellow machine. That looks like James Abbott still there in third ahead of Graham Charman. 55 there on the outside, the orange car, that's Chris Short. They start to sort themselves out in the early stages of this Sports Prototype Cup event here at Silverstone. Grimes setting the pace through the double right-hander at Luffield, then through Woodcut and up towards the start-finish line. Great to see and hear these cars out in action. The LMP3 cars powered by 5-litre Nissan V8 engines. Wonderful rumble from that car as he leads Genvy, Abbott, Charman. Sir Chris Hoy is still there in fifth and leading the Revolution category. Chris Hoy's switched to cars. First came in Caterham's. He's been a class champion in British GT as well. Won the Pro-Am GT4 title, sharing with Martin Plowman. That was in a Ford Mustang. There's James Abbott in third. He's from the family that founded the Radical sports car company, if memory serves me correctly. Radical building their cars in Peterborough since the 1990s. We've got two Radicals out there today. I don't think Jason Rishover started this race, just Steve Lake out there further down the order. Rishover not showing on our timing graphics. 15 minutes to go then. Grimes from Genvy still at the front. They've pulled clear. Abbott in third, Charman fourth. So Chris Hoy is fifth, then Richard Wells, Chris Short in seventh, third in class. And in eighth place, number 7, Simon Evans. He's out there in his Ligier JSP 320, a car we didn't see in race one. Good to see Simon on the grid in the French-built Ligier, of course, famous name in Formula One in the 70s and 80s. The last Grand Prix win was that infamous Monaco Grand Prix in 96 with Olivier Panis. Mike Genvy still giving chase to our race leader. An old-fashioned club racer is Mike Genvy, enters any event that his car's eligible for. He's even been competing in time attack with the car this year. The event's held as laps against the clock rather than a straightforward race. A lot of car tuners, private owners take part in those. Abbott now nearly 14 seconds down in third place. There is the number 70 of Sir Chris Hoy. There is the Ligier of number 7 Simon Evans, another LMP3 car. Very impressive machinery here at Silverstone today. So Chris Hoy, whether it's on 2 or 4 wheels, a very dedicated out-and-out racer. Swings his way through the complex down towards the fast hanger straight, then down towards Stowe Corner. There's the 55 of Chris Short. You can see the very distinctive shape of these Revolution A1 cars. Carbon fibre tub chassis, Ford V6 engines. Holding off the LMP3 car there of Simon Evans. The other LMP3 out in front of Bon Grimes. There goes Graham Charman. He's in 4th place in the Juno. Behind Chris Short, Bradley Ellis and Andy Cummings, number 20 car. It's Cummings on board for this race. Then we have got the number 6, which is Stephen Lake in his Radical, and 44, Matt Brooks, another long-time Radical racer. Manhal Alos, number 71, in another Revolution behind him. 6.5 minutes to go now. Grimes from Genvy, and Grimes has pulled away to the tune of nearly 7 seconds. James Abbott still in third in that beautifully painted number 74 car. Chris Short attacking further back in the order. He's on the back of Chris Hoy. This is for the lead of the Revolution class, and Short goes through. That's coming through the infield loop onto the Wellington straight, down towards the end of the lap. They'll go under the paddock bridge and down towards the left-hander at Brooklands. Chris Short has taken the lead of the Revolution class. Third in that division is Andy Cummings. Chris Short runs wide there at Brooklands onto the tarmac runoff area, gathers it up again. He's under pressure again from the number 70 of Sir Chris Hoy. Finished third in class, in 9th place in race 1. Great battle for the lead of the Revolution A1 division. There's James Abbott also in a Revolution. That's a different spec car, so having to run in the open class, side by side down towards Copse Corner. And Chris Short just about holding his lead. This is good stuff. Ron Grimes is clear in the lead. Looks like he's going to take the overall win. Revolution's quite a way behind the 5 open class cars at the front of the field now. This is the battle for the lead of their class for 6th overall. It's number 20, driven by Andy Cummings, third in that category. Behind them, Steve Lake in his open class Radical, then Matt Brooks, Manhal Alos, Matthew Chamberlain in the CTR 01. 80 of Richard Wells has dropped back down the field, and also Andy Chittenden in the MCR is at the back of the field. 14 cars in this race. There is the leader, the LMP3 Duquesne of Bon Grimes. 4.5 minutes just over to go. He's over 10 seconds clear now of race leader of second place man Mike Genvy. It's going to be a win for the LMP3 car, unless we see any late safety cars. We did in race 1, of course. Simon Evans in the Ligier a little further back in 5th position. He was out in race 1 but was an early retirement. Whatever problem it was with his French-built machine. Chris Hoy has got back ahead of Chris Short in the battle of the Revolutions. Hope we don't see any revolving from these cars. We don't want any spinners. 4 minutes to go. The Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. A lap takes about 2 minutes in one of these cars. Well clear of their class opposition here. Chris Hoy leads it, and Chris Short again runs wide out of the left-hander at Brooklands corner, then the double right. Oh, and Chris Short spins out at Luffield, and he's backed it into the edge of the gravel trap there. Well, I did say we didn't want to see any revolving. I'd rather put the curse of the commentator on Chris Short there. It's a great shame. That's the end of that battle for the class lead. Hopefully the volunteer marshals can move that car. Chris Short in the gravel. Chris Hoy left out on his own in the lead of the class. 6th place overall, just over 3 minutes of the race to go, so I think Chris Short will be out of this race. That's a great shame. Must thank the volunteer marshals here who couldn't go racing without the Orange Army, as they're known. They'll be getting that car moved, trying to get Chris Short going again. So Sir Chris Hoy out on his own in the Revolution category. See what his gap back to the number 20 car of Andy Cummings is next time around. The leader is out on his own, Bon Grimes. And racing as a gentleman driver in GT racing with a Ferrari. Johnny Molan was his professional co-driver and driver coach, teaching Bon to race, the businessman turned racer. 17 seconds up on Mike Genvy now. Bon Grimes has raced in the Le Mans 24 Hours with Johnny Molem in the past in the GT classes. Could we see him in the prototype classes in years to come at the French Classic? James Abbott well back in third. It's Graham Charman in the Juno. There are yellow flags out at Brooklands corner. I would imagine that's the Chris Short's car. Double yellow flags waving. There's just under 2 minutes of this race to go. I would imagine that's for that stranded car that we saw spin off earlier on. I can't see anything else from down there. Chris Hoy makes his way through. Yellow flags means slow down. No overtaking. He gets through no problem. Nobody near him at the moment. Well, it's going to be a win for Bon Grimes, that's assured. Chris Hoy in 6th position overall. He's going to win the Revolution category. Gap back to Andy Cummings, about 11 seconds, just over. 3rd in that class is Matt Brooks, number 44. Then we've got Manhal Alos in 71. Matthew Chamberlain in his CTR 01, the orange number 15 behind him. Then Richard Wells and Andy Chittenden. Chris Short, I think, is out of the race. Into the last lap goes the race leader, Bon Grimes. It's going to be a double for the LMP3 car. Now, he's got some back markers ahead of him here. Now, who's about to go a lap down? I think that's Matthew Chamberlain, and just ahead of him, Manhal Alos. They're going to be lapped by the flying Duquesne. Leading the Revolution class is still Chris Hoy. Nobody's going to catch him, I don't think. You can see the gap there back to Andy Cummings. Stowe corner. Here goes the number 16. One of the Revolutions. I think that's Chris Short who's got going again, going a lap down. And Andy Cummings through the club corner complex. Here comes the race leader. In the Revolutions and the CTR 01. Flashing the lights to warn the back markers that he's there. Hoy goes through the loop and onto the Wellington Straight. Still a yellow flag out there, so there's something stranded there. Coming through that complex, so no overtaking into Brooklands. Back markers in the Revolution being that. That's the 44 of Matt Brooks going a lap down, so Manhal Alos has also been lapped. Running in 9th and 10th overalls, 3rd and 4th in class. The leader won't catch Sir Chris Hoy to lap him. It is going to be a win for Bon Grimes, just has to negotiate his final lap. Chris Hoy just starting his final lap. 1 minute 44 down on our race leader. There in behind him, that's Stephen Lake in the Radical SR3. Andy Cummings comes through behind, and there is Bon Grimes, takes the checkered flag. Bon Grimes takes a double win here at Silverstone. Well done indeed to him. See what his winning margin is over Mike Genvy here. Mike Genvy, the man from the West Midlands, is going to finish in 2nd in his self-developed Genvy Gun TS6. 2nd in the open class. The Revolution class is going to go to Sir Chris Hoy. 3rd in class and 9th overall in race 1. He's coming through Stowe corner. Oh, and Simon Evans has spun the Ligier. Where is that? That's at the loop. He'll rejoin over the gravel track. I wonder if he's got a bit of damage to the steering there, possibly. Goes over the grass, over the gravel. Try not to bring too much debris onto the tarmac. He will get to the finish because he's just got a couple more corners to complete. James Abbott in his Revolution A1 USA has finished 3rd ahead of Graham Charman. They were separated by 4 seconds. There's Charman across the line in 4th place. Now Simon Evans should have been next through. Is he going to be caught by Sir Chris Hoy here? Could Hoy get into the top 5 in the overall classification, or is it going to be the beautiful Ligier? Ligier turned to sports cars following their Formula 1 efforts. They built road cars as well. Simon Evans does make it home in 5th position overall following that late spin. He wasn't caught by the Revolution class cars, which will be topped by Sir Chris Hoy, the Olympic cycling legend. Here he comes out of the final corner to win the Revolution A1 class. Well done, Sir Chris Hoy. 2nd in that class will be Andy Cummings, and 3rd Matt Brooks a lap down. Stephen Lake in between them with the Radical in 7th place. So good stuff there from the Sports Prototype Cup. A double win overall for Bon Grimes. Congratulations to him in the Duquesne LMP3. We'll check out the confirmed results of that one in a second. Bon Grimes Times taking the win by a much more clear-cut margin this time, with no safety car at the end of the race, nearly 30 seconds ahead of Mike Genby. Third going to James Abbott. Graham Charman, a much better race this time, finished fourth in the Juno. Fifth place for Simon Evans despite a late spin. And then Chris Hoy wins the Revolution A1 class. Stephen Lake, Andy Cummings, Matt Brooks and Manhal Alos completing the top 10. Then Matthew Chamberlain, Richard Wells, Andy Chittenden, Chris Short failed to finish.
Well, hello everybody, welcome back down to Winners Row, I'm going to call it now, and it's this man again, Bond Drive, who's made it a double bubble of wins. Look at that, he's all smiles underneath that helmet. Bon, you're going to need a big trophy cabinet, I think.
I am, aren't they? Lovely trophies, really like this, perfect.
And you've got a fair bit, you've got 2 bottles of champagne now, you know, where's the party later?
I think my wife will be pleased. Yeah, let's go and celebrate. But actually, I might give one of these to the boys, because Nielsen have been absolutely amazing with their support this weekend.
Fantastic.
And I know they've got a busy time, they're off out back to Europe straight away pretty much, so this one's for them and for Johnny and the coaching and Brendan's support.
There he is. It was a similar sort of pattern actually, wasn't it? To sort of race one, Mike was keeping you under pressure, but you just held him at bay throughout the race, really.
Yeah, I decided to go a bit more aggressive this time, straight out the box. It helped with the tyres.
Yeah.
So we got the tyres up to temperature more quickly, and it felt great. So it was, then we just bring it home to the flag.
They make some noise, don't they?
Oh,
Oh my word, what is it like to drive? Come on.
Some baffles in there, we could take those out and make it louder.
Can we? Look, congratulations, what an incredible weekend for you. I can see underneath that helmet you're all smiles. So
always am, yeah.
Go on, go celebrate with your team, because there you go, congratulations. That is Bon Grimes, the winner of the Open class. This man here is Sir Chris Hoy, is the winner of the Revolution class as well. Let me just move out of the way before I get run over. As if perfect timing, isn't it, as well? I do know James is just going to hand the trophy before we grab a quick word with Sir Chris there. But yeah, we had a chat with him actually, didn't we, in the assembly area before the race. I had to wait quite a while in there, but managed to get the job done. Look at that as well. Let's grab a quick word when he's got a second. It was all about the game plan, wasn't it? Came under incredible pressure from Chris Short, but unfortunately Chris Short, an error by him, allowed Sir Chris to get back into it as well. We'll just let him take the trophy.
Chris Short there.
Yeah, it was getting, both of our tyres were going off, and he did this on the TV and just spin.
There we go, look. Fantastic stuff. So Chris, I imagine you've got quite a big enough trophy cabinet as it is anyway, but you're getting quite a collection of these now as well.
There's always space for one more.
It was a great battle with Chris Short, wasn't it? And he actually got past, didn't he?
Yeah.
But I think he stuck his tyres there in the gravel, and so you're able to come back through.
It was a great battle, and I think that it was good fair racing. You know, both of our tyres were going off. You could see the back end was starting to swing around, and unfortunately, he just got on the gas a bit too soon, and he spun it on Lovefield. But yeah, it was good fun while it lasted. But I'm glad that I was ahead of him when he spun.
We spoke in the assembly area actually, and you said it's all about gameplay. Get a good start. Lap by lap, it's exactly what you did, and it's proof. Stick to the plan, and it could come home.
Yeah, I mean, it is a cliche, but you've got to do it one lap at a time and just not think too far ahead. And it's hard when your closest rival spins off and you start thinking, I could win this, but you're trying to just say just one lap at a time. And anything could go wrong at any moment in motorsport, so you don't take anything for granted. But that was great fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I can see it. Big smile on your face. Thanks. Enjoy it. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Well, congratulations to all our winners in the Sports Prototype Cup then here at Silverstone this weekend. We've got plenty more racing. We've got Caterhams, Mazda MX-5s, a 24-hour race for the Citron C1s, all coming up later on in the programme. For now, we'll take a short break. Join us again in a few minutes' time here on Full Throttle. Welcome back to Silverstone on this fine sunny afternoon. We're now underway here on Full Throttle with the Caterham Graduates Championship, also combined with the Max 5 Racing Championship, a mixture of Caterhams and Mazdas out there on track for this one. This is the Caterham Graduates Sigma 150 Championship. Ford Sigma engined Caterham 7s, and a huge number of them out there, over 30 Caterhams. Lapping some of the Mazdas here, mainly MX-5s, a couple of Mazda 2 hatchbacks out there in this field as well. And it's Jay McCormack who leads the way, just lapping the Mazda MX-5 of Joe Jacob there. A huge raft of Caterhams fighting it out for the runner-up place at the moment. 167 going through there in that group. That's Doug Christie ahead of the number 3 of Jim Earlham. A real mixture of sports cars and a couple of saloons as well. Jay McCormack in the blue and red car there has gone clear of the rest of the Caterham pack. It's currently Jamie Elwood in second place, the championship leader in the Sigma 150 category. There's a battle between the 2 green machines of 17, Andy Hughes and Kim Raymond in the number 15. There's scraps everywhere you look, typically close and competitive Caterham race. Look at this, it's like the M1 on a bad day as they head down the Hanger Straights. Pulling out to pass, one car's lost its nose cone there. I think that's Jamie Winrow, the number 6. 121 in the red car is Harry Kramer. All of them championship pace setters. Jay McCormack, who's out in front, has travelled over from his base in Spain for this event. He's not registered for the championship, it's just a one-off appearance, and he's out in front in the 125 car. Very, very quick Caterham racer indeed. Number 2, Jamie Elwood, top point scoring car in second place, so he'll keep his championship lead if he wins this. Here's the battle in the Mazda division, the Max 5 Racing Championship. Paul Rodison in his Mark IV MX-5 ahead of the similar car of John Halliwell, who is the coordinator of this championship. Paul Rodison, a Mazda MX-5 expert, specialises in preparing racing Mark IVs. New shape of Mazda MX-5. Great to see a few of them racing here today. Back with the Caterham battle, you really cannot look away from this. 55 up there, Ben Lopez Appleton ahead of Jamie Winrow and Harry Kramer. That's a scrap for third. Jamie Elwood getting away slightly at the head of this huge train of cars. One of the Mazda 2s has been lapped there. That's Andrew Stacey, I think, in the number 25 car. As the Caterhams move their way down into Brooklands Corner. Great racing here on the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. Lopez Appleton under fire from the 121 of Harry Kramer. There's the 46 of Jamie Winrow. Lost the nose cone. I think that might be his nose cone there on the outside of Luffield, actually. A couple of bits of bodywork on the circuit. Well, Jay McCormack's missing all the enjoyment. He's well out in front ahead of Jamie Elwood. With less than 2 seconds in it as this group crosses the line. Elwood from Kramer this time, getting ahead of Lopez Appleton in the 55. Winrow is in behind them. Next in the order, 113, which is Andrew Perry. Then we've got 114, that's David Yates. Side by side as they come through the infield section up towards the Hanger Straights. Then Lopez Appleton, long-time Caterham racer, staying ahead of Harry Kramer in the 121. Here's a scrap further back there, lapping Joe Jacob in his MX-5 there, number 11. It's Kim Raymond in the 15 going through. This is a battle for the lower reaches of the top 25. The Mazda's running outside the top 25, the slightly slower cars. Kramer ahead of Lopez Appleton, has a look up the inside. There's a bit of contact there as they go into Stowe Corner. That's sent Lopez Appleton out wide. 4 minutes of this race to go. Jay McCormack over 4 seconds clear. That's an eternity in Caterham terms. He's looking good for victory on his return to UK motorsport. Jamie Elwood ran a bit wide through there. It's now Winrow third. Side by side down the Hanger Straights. 3 wide in fact. 2 wide ahead of them. Hard to know where to look in this race. 56 and 85 together. That's Paul Wells and Colin Loughran. They're battling for 24th place. Sheer fun of racing a Caterham, hard to describe. We'll see the more powerful Sig Max cars out in the next race along with the Sigma 135 category. There's only 50 cars scheduled to be in that race. 46 of Winrow in 4th position here ahead of Harry Kramer. Behind them is Perry, Yates and James Earlham, the number 3, the white car there. They're changing positions on every lap. Well, Jay McCormack has checked out at the front of the field. Everybody else in a solid scrub behind. Still Jamie Elwood, he's the top point scoring registered car in this race. Jay McCormack won't score any points towards the Caterham Graduates Sigma 150 Championship here. Harry Kramer on the tail of the 46 of Jamie Winrow. This is the battle for 3rd place. Jamie Elwood's getting away very slightly ahead of them here. There's only a couple of laps left to go now, I think. 2.5 minutes just over on the clock as Jay McCormack comes through. Side by side for 3rd place. Harry Kramer attacking the noseless car of Jamie Winrow. He goes through up into 3rd position. now try and chase down Jamie Elwood for that second place on the top points position. Battle is joined behind them as well. Looks like Andy Perry and Jim Earlham. There's that 85 car of Colin Laughlin, the Royal Blue Machine. Oh, is that Elwood that's spun there, trying to get going again? No, it's the similarly coloured number 99 car, Gideon Wilkinson, getting going again. For a moment, we've lost our second place man, similarly coloured car, as you can see. Somebody's lost a little bit of bodywork in the middle of the track there. Somebody's bonnet's coming loose as well. I think that's Andy Perry, the 113, and he'll lose out to Jim Earlham as a result there. Nope, Perry holds on in the black car around the outside. They've got David Yates and Doug Christie up behind them, and Lopez Appleton, after he ran wide earlier on, is in that group as well. Coming round to start their final lap this time, I think. 3 cars still fighting it out for second, then it's 4 cars for 5th position, scrapping it out. Past the wing building, past the Grand Prix pit complex. There's a scrap further back, number 172, Mark Smith making a move on Andrew Hughes. Here's the battle in the Mazdas, you mustn't forget them as well. Paul Rodison, who's taken the majority of Max 5 racing championship wins over the years. He's got the recovering Gideon Wilkinson just ahead of him there. John Halliwell second, and third in the Max 5s is Sam Hicks with his MX-5. The other classes in there, we've got the Mazda RX-8 class, 1 entry in that, which is Ben Taylor. Also leading the Mark III MX-5 class is Kimberly Nolan. 1 Class C entry for Mark 1 MX-5, you've seen him, Joe Jacob, and Andrew Stacey leads the Mazda 2 category. It's Jay McCormack, looking good for overall victory here. I think he'll get 1 more lap in. There's about 20 seconds left on the clock as he comes through towards Woodcote for the last time. Let's see what his lead is over Jamie Elwood here. There's the Mazda RX-8 we just mentioned, about to be lap, the rotary engine car. As McCormack starts his final lap with just a few seconds to spare. Lapping the Mark III MX-5, that's Kim Nolan. Jay McCormack in his beautifully liveried car, the blue and red. Looking good here. 4.3 seconds his lead, the rest of the pack covered by just a smattering of seconds. 6/10 in it for second between Elwood and Jamie Winrow. Then it's Harry Kramer in 4th place. 5th is Andrew Perry. 6th James Earlham. David Yates, is 7th. Reese Yates is a famous name in rallying. Doug Christie is 8th, Lopez Appleton down to 9th, and James de Lusignan is rounding out the top 10. They've got to lap these 2 Mazdas. This could change things if they don't move aside. They are moving to the outside on the hanger straights. Jamie Elwood tucks himself in between the 2 Mazdas there, perhaps recognising he's not going to get past the RX-8 before Stowe, or is he? No, he was trying to catch a toe off it. That's what he was doing, to stay ahead of Winrow and Kramer. These 3 have gone clear of the rest of the Caterham field now. They're not going to catch Jay McCormack. He's heading for victory. There are still battles further down the order. Here's the battle between Andy Hughes and Mark Smith. In there, the 56, the yellow cart's Paul Wells. It's going to be a win for Jay. We've got a tangle there coming into the club complex. Can't quite see who that is at the moment. The midfield runners just getting going again. Hopefully not too much harm done, just a couple of damaged body panels. The Mazda's into their last lap. John Halliwell trying to move up on Paul Rodison for the lead of the Max 5s. Such is the circuit capacity here at Silverstone, they can run combined. Jamie Elwood runs a bit wide there, coming on towards the Wellington straight at the loop, and Jamie Winrow gets through for 2nd place. Now Elwood might slipstream him back again as they come down the Wellington straight towards Brooklands corner. 3 cars together. Elwood is going to make the move. Yes, he's back in 2nd place. Coming up the outside is Harry Kramer in the 1-2-1 as well. It's a great battle for second. It's going to be a win for Jay McCormack, but who is going to be second? Jamie Elwood wants another win here to in the points-paying positions to keep his championship lead ahead of Jamie Winrow and Harry Kramer. It looks as though they are going to finish in that order, but it is a win for Jay McCormack. The checkered flag is out, so welcome return to Caterham Racing for him. Very close across the line there, half a second in it between Winrow and Kramer. Elwood was ahead of them though. Transponder a bit slow on the number 2 car. He does get that second place by 0.2 of a second. I was confused there for a second. The transponder wasn't working properly on Jamie Elwood's car. The time a bit slow to come through, but he does get second place and the top points paying position ahead of Winrow, Kramer, Andy Perry, James Earlham. Then we've got Ben Lopez Appleton, Tim Child coming through for 8th place. The rest of them charge their way across the line. The win in the Mazdas is going to go, I think, to Paul Rodison. There's the 31 Mazda. That's Marshall Glynn running towards the back of the field in the Mark III. It's a win for Jay McCormack. Congratulations to him on his return to Caterham Racing. Check out the full results in a moment. Jamie Elwood, the big winner though, another 30 points towards his championship challenge. Great racing there, great slipstreaming all the way from the Caterham Graduates Sigma 150 Racing Championship. The Graduates Club formed initially for graduates of the Caterham Scholarship Scheme and has proven phenomenally successful ever since. Here come the Mazdas towards the line, and Paul Rodison is going to hang on ahead of John Halliwell to take their victory. They're split further down the field. Two of the best loved sports cars, the Caterham 7 and the Mazda MX-5, celebrated here at Silverstone. Here they come. Paul Rodison adds to his long list of wins in the Max-5 Racing Championship ahead of John Halliwell, and further back Sam Hicks will take third in that division. But the overall victory goes to Jay McCormack ahead of Jamie Elwood by 3.8 seconds, and Jamie Winrow third ahead of Harry Kramer, Andrew Perry, James Earlham, Ben Lopez Appleton. Tim Child takes 8th ahead of David Yates and Andrew Whitten completing the top 10. Next home was Barry White ahead of John Curry, James de Lusignan dropping to 13th, and then Rob Warner and Doug Christie completing the top 15. Christie dropping back in the closing stages down the battle there, may have been involved in that late tangle. So great racing there to say the least. The rest of the pack came home in the Mazdas. It was Paul Rodison ahead of John Halliwell and Sam Hicks with Ian Loversedge and Jeremy Shipley completing the top 5. They finished outside the overall top 30 behind the Caterhams.
Here he is, he's the winner. Come on, Jason. We spoke in the assembly area, didn't we? And you got him that time.
Yeah.
To talk us through, it was quite a race, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. They seemed to just get caught up battling. I got the break and got away, and yeah, just kept my head down as qualifying laps and pulled it off. Got revenge.
You got revenge. And you actually opened up a bit of a gap as well. We don't normally see that in Caterham,
It was totally unexpected. I really didn't expect to be able to pull away like that, but I'm not complaining. It was, yeah, it was good.
Great conditions.
Yeah, I had a point to prove in that race.
Well, you certainly proved it, didn't you? What does this mean for the championship going forward for you?
I'm not in the championship. I'm only a guest racer, an
you're only
invitational
guesting.
racer today.
Oh, well.
So Jamie Elwood took the win for the championship points.
Well, they're probably glad then, aren't they?
Yeah.
So you keep winning these races.
Not bad for a fat old man to be able to come out and still stick it to these
There's out there.
young lads.
There's out there. Jason, go on. Enjoy the rest of the day. Congratulations.
Thank you.
There you go. We've actually got Paul Rodison down here as well from the Max 5. See if we've got a chance to grab a quick word with him. Mr. Rodison, how's it going? I don't suppose you have a Mars, do you, Paul? What a fine looking car this is in the Max 5 Championship though, isn't it? In fact, it was Paul Rodison who took the victory in race 1 as well. Great stuff. It's roaring at the minute, just listen to it. And here we go. Paul, double bubble this weekend, congratulations. What was it like out there?
It didn't start very well because obviously quali had a problem with the car, so I missed quali. So first race I had a lot of work to do. Second race I was hoping to start at the front where we normally finish. But because we were on the back of the Caterhams, their policy is your second quickest lap time is where you start. So of course that put me at the back again. So, so yeah, it was hard work, but it was good fun.
You're a bit of a dab hand behind the wheel then, keep coming through and winning.
John doesn't make it easy, but you know, the car's feeling really well. And I can just push on. So yeah, we're good. Very
Fantastic.
Good.
Well done, double bubble for this weekend for Paul Rodison. Right, it's time to hand back to your commentator. It's time, would you believe, already for the final Caterham race of the weekend.
Even more Caterhams now out on track for the Sigmax and Sigma 135 categories of the Caterham Graduates Racing Club. Just under 10 minutes of their race to go, and a frantic battle going on up front. Leading the way is the number 24 of Ben Winrow, Harry Senior in second, and number 16 of Simon Griffiths currently in third place. But there are once again battles everywhere you look down the order. The fight in the less powerful Sigma 135 cars is between the number 86 of Simon Shaw and the 50 of James McCall. David Reed, the other race winner from earlier this season, not out this weekend. He's had some huge battles this year with McCall. So we've had a change for the leader. I think Harry Senior has got through ahead of the red and yellow of Ben Winrow. Battles everywhere you look, it's hard to follow. There are 49 cars out there on track in this race, almost completely filling the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. So many legendary racing drivers have competed and made history. There's the 86 car. Going further down the order, that's one of the leaders in Sigma 135, Simon Shaw. Across the line this time we should see Harry Senior come through in the lead in the number 28 car, I think. But Ben Winrow, number 24, giving chase. They swap places on that previous lap. Third place, number 25, Steve Clark. Simon Griffiths comes through in fourth in the 16, and 82, Matthew Willoughby, rounding out the top five. There is Griffiths, number 16. Battle for 6 is between 98, Jason Gale, and the 72, which is Glenn Burtonshaw, who's raced various classes of Caterham over the years. Through the Maggots and Beckett's complex, it is the number 28. There is Harry Senior, the championship leader in the Sigmax category. It's like a bit of bodywork missing from his car. Number 86, Simon Shaw, looking for his first win of the season in the Sigma 135s, further back in the order. They're currently fighting for 16th overall, the less powerful Sigma 135 engine cars. The classes all referring to the type of Ford Sigma engine used in these Caterham 7s. Built down in Surrey, of course, to the design of Colin Chapman, originally the founder of Lotus. The Lotus 7 was the original car. There's a scrap going on further back. Number 70, very brightly liveried car there for Tom Power. The tail of Peter Marsh, possibly the red car ahead of him there. Tricky to see the numbers on one or two of these cars. They're battling so hard. Power powers his way through. It's the 52 car. It's Michael Downing, in fact, I apologise, missing a rear wing there as well. It's not a Caterham race unless you lose a few rear wings, so they say. So Senior from Winrow overall. Shaw, McCall and Power top three in the Sigma 135 category further back. There's a scrap for fourth place it is now. Griffiths has been shuffled back a little on that lap. I think Matt Willoughby's got through in the 82 up into fourth place. Red and yellow flag is out at Brooklands. That's the slippery surface flag, so possibly a bit of oil or coolant has been dropped on the circuit there. Just warning the drivers to be careful. Don't want any spins or collisions. What order are they going to come through in this time? It's Harry Senior, Ben Winrow in the red and yellow car in second. Third is Steve Clark in the blue machine. Willoughby is up to fourth. The rest of them behind. Gale, Burtonshaw. So in there is the number 1, which is Kevin Barrett. Gareth Cordy in number 33. Earlier this season, Silverstone had a scary moment when a wheel came flying off his car. The leaders over the line. Willoughby and Griffiths continue to battle it out. Griffiths getting round the outside there on the pit straight. And behind them, number 98, the green car. That's Jason Gale. Harry Senior on the power through Maggots. Look at the car sliding around a little there, and Steve Clark gets through into second place in the number 25. He's going well. Ben Winrow, a winner earlier this season, in third place. The Winrow family going well in both our Caterham races today. Just over 5 minutes to go. There's number 98. That's Jason Gale. Still Simon Shaw leading the second class further back. There is number 8 going through. That's Peter Marsh, snapping with the 52 of Michael Downing. Here come your leaders in the Sigma 135 category. Still Simon Shaw holding off number 50 of James McCall. Plays his cards right, he'll be out in front of the championship at the end of today. Power in third place. Tom Power, the very distinctive number 70 car. These two have pulled away, and McCall trying to slipstream Simon Shaw here down the Hanger Straight. Which side's he going to go? Moves to the left, side by side on the run into Stowe Corner, but Simon Shaw's got the inside line for the right-hander, looking for his first win of the season in the category, and he holds on around Stowe Corner. Over 4 minutes of this race still to go, so they'll get at least a couple more laps out of this. That 5 wide on the F1 pit straight. Stephen Clark trying to chase down Harry Senior for the lead. He's done the majority of the winning so far in the Sig Max category this year. He's starting to pull away slightly from his opposition, just over a second clear last time around of Ben Winrow. He's fighting back around the outside there, down into Brooklyn. Retakes second from Stephen Clark. Harry Senior is up his wing in the background. Look at the left rear corner of his car, missing the left rear wing. Lighten the car a bit, it seems to be working for him. Winrow ahead of Clark now for second, then it's Griffiths, Willoughby. Behind them the 72, that's Glenn Burtonshaw, I think, up there in 6th, the green car. Further back in the order we've got the Sigma 135 runners. Lead gap increasing by over half a second on that last lap, so Harry Senior's running away with this. And Clark still there in second and third. Of course, the harder they fight each other, the more time they lose to Harry Senior. Trying to go side by side on the run into Maggott's Corner. Clark does it again there on the little left flick into the left right of the Beckett's complex. Flicks through, there's Griffiths, the white car. Willoughby is ahead of Burtonshaw, then it's Gale, Barrett, Cordy, and the number 9 of Neil Sturgis rounding out the top 10. Cars battling it out for the minor placings further down the order. This is frantic stuff, trying to go 3 wide through Beckett's. I don't think that's going to work. Such entertaining racing, some of the most action-packed racing in the UK in these Caterhams. 33 Gareth Cordy heading this group. 1 or 2 cars getting a bit sideways through there. 119 at the back of that little group, Andrew Sagar. These cars running at the lower end of the top 10. But, Gareth Cordy in there, Neil Sturgis in the black and gold number 9, Peter Marshall in blue, trying to hold off the number 5 of Will Rayson. I think that's Luke Suru in the 36 car. Great battle in the lower reaches of the top 10, and just outside the top 10. Side by side through into the Club Corner complex, moving up towards the wing. Here's a battle in the Sigma 135 category. Number 70 of Tom Power has been reeled in by a few pursuers. 131 there, John Cox. 171, that's Ollie Smith. Here's the battle for second overall. Ben Winrow and Steve Clark. Winrow over the curbs up the loop, coming onto the Wellington straights. Further back in the order, several more battles going on. 79, in fact, of Ryan Meager being caught there, not Tom Power. Coloured car. Harry Senior out in front then, coming around to start his last lap. 1 minute left on the clock. He's looking good for another overall victory. Who's going to win the Sigma 135s? Will it be Simon Shaw or James McCall? I think it's between those two. Put them up when we can. I don't think they're going to catch Senior here. Look at the lead he's pulled out. He's over 3 seconds ahead now of Winrow and Clark, who are dodging about fighting for second. They're losing time all the time though. Fourth place still Griffiths ahead of Willoughby, then Glenn Burtonshaw. Steve Clark does his usual trick coming out of Cox on the run to Maggot. He moves to the left, up the inside into the flick. This time Ben Winrow's wise to him. Later on the brakes as we pick up the 135 class battle. It is still Shaw from James McCall. It's between these two now for the class win. McCall looking to extend his lead in the championship. Harry Senior likewise. Down the Hanger Straight he comes. He's going to take yet another win by the look of things here. He had some contact at the beginning of the race, which I think's damaged that wing on the left front, and he's lost the rear one on the left. Not slowing him down though. Still the battle raging for second. Clark now ahead of Winrow once again. Griffiths looking on. Here's the Sigma 135 battle. Swing their way into the Beckett's complex. Simon Shaw trying to hang on, but the place you don't want to be in a Caterham race is leading into the last lap, because on the last corner those behind are likely to slipstream past you. I reckon James McCall's waiting till Brooklands to try and take the lead. Great race between these two. They're well clear of their opposition. It's still Tom Power, number 70, third in the category. Further back fourth is number 60 of Alaric Barney. McCall looking to make a move. Harry Senior is heading for victory though. Further back in the order, that's number 120 car towards the back, Chris Griffith. Headlights on the car there. One or two Caterham racers do drive their cars on the road to the events. As many as we used to see in club racing, however. Still got the slippery surface flag out on the run into Brooklyn, just as a warning to the drivers. It's not slowing Harry Senior down though. He's heading for the win. The clock has counted down to 0. It's going to be a win for Harry Senior to extend his Caterham Sigmax Championship lead. Well clear of Ben Winrow and Stephen Clark as they've had their own private battle for second place. Moving down towards the final corner, there is Harry Senior, takes the checkered flag, takes a clear win. Who's going to be second? Will it be Clark or Winrow? Very close as they cross the line. Winrow by just a couple of hundredths of a second. Fourth goes to Griffiths. Fifth place to Matthew Willoughby. Zip across the line a little further back. Well done, Harry Senior. Another win in the book in this very successful 2021 Caterham Graduate Sigmax season. The question remaining, who's going to win the Sigma 135s? And McCall has got ahead of Shaw. I thought he might wait until the last couple of corners. James McCall ahead of Simon Shaw. That's going to be another win for James. His main rival David Reed in the championship not here today, so this is an ideal opportunity. And James McCall is going to come in 16th overall, wins the Sigma 135 class ahead of Simon Shaw by 1 second. Great stuff.
Well, welcome back everybody down to Winners Row, and it has a very familiar feeling, doesn't it, from race one. Yet again, this man, Harry, you can leave your balaclava on if you like. I must stop meeting you like this because people are going to start talking. Another win, and that one, very difficult the first half. A tale of two races for you, wasn't it, really? First half, a lot of pressure. Second half, you managed to get away a bit.
Yeah. No, first half was flat out, full on, four of us just going at it. And then, yeah, I don't really know. I don't even really remember what happened. I just remember looking in my mirror and starting to build a bit of a gap.
Yeah.
I guess they were just squabbling among each other.
Yeah, certainly Stephen and Ben they're just battling, trying to get past so they can make and try and catch you up. They were costing themselves time, and it was allowing you to run away.
And then they caught a back marker as well at one point, so just in the wrong place going through Vale. So, but yeah, no, a good few seconds lead. Definitely. It means more than winning just by a tenth of a second. It's more complete, you know.
A rarity, isn't it? It's not often. I mean, 3 seconds might not sound a lot, but it's an eternity in these cars, isn't it?
For Caterham racing, yeah. You know, the standard is a tenth or less to win by. But yeah, no. So it feels great to win by a large margin like that.
Harry, congratulations. Could you just stay here, because I know the circuit commentator wants to grab a word of you as well, if that's all right. Whilst we're here, we're going to grab a quick word with James McCall as well. He's your 135 class winner. Incredible stuff. In fact, he did it bang on the line, didn't he? How exciting was that? We'll grab a quick word with him very, very shortly. Incredible racing for the Caterhams. We've seen it all day long. In fact, we see it every time we come to a track with the Caterhams. I'm a bit sad that that's actually it for the weekend for the Caterham graduates. So James McCall won it on the absolute death, didn't he, from Simon Shaw. Wow, it was very, very close. Stay with me because I'm going to grab James very, very shortly for a very quick word. Here he comes. James, you've got to do all the media duty bits and bobs, haven't you? But
you know,
blimey, you didn't half cut that one fine and leave it late, did you? Jeez.
Yeah, I didn't mean to leave it that tight. I didn't mean to leave it. I had 10 laps to figure out exactly where I was going to be quicker, and by sitting behind him, I was able to save the tyres a little bit. I had a little bit more left at the end. I pretty much planned exactly where I was going to get him. There was a lot of litter on the track around that area, which made it a bit more tricky.
It was not me, I promise. My litter goes in the bin.
But yeah, it was pretty. I don't know what the timing said, but it looked quite tight on the line.
Incredible,
I wasn't sure.
0.002 of a second or something crazy like that. It was very tight. Congratulations, James. You picked up the class win. There you go, fantastic stuff. Again, congratulations to Harry Senior. He's made it a pair of wins. James McCall won it on the line in the 135 class. And guess what's coming up next? Yes, we have a 24-hour race coming up, the C1s. I think we might head off to a little break, but I'm going to hand back to the commentator to tell you what's going to happen next.
Well, great racing from the Caterhams, and there's still more motorsports to come here on Full Throttle. We've got highlights coming up next of the awesome Silver Lake Citron C1 24-hour race. What a cracking event that promised to be. Highlights from that coming up after this short break. Do not go anywhere, more motorsports coming up. Welcome back to Silverstone here on Full Throttle, and get ready for something very special. This is the Silver Lake Citron C1 Challenge 24-hour race. No fewer than 58 Citron C1s out there on track for this one. Up to 6 drivers per car in these crews, a mixture of professional and amateur racers ready to do battle, all of them with one aim: to have a huge amount of fun. Team Fake Shake and Bake with Team Gaz Shocks are on pole position, car number 312. 394 AB Motorsport alongside them as the 58 car field heads away for the rolling lap. This is a 24-hour race with a difference for budget race cars. This is the way to go endurance racing on a budget, and this is going to be something very special indeed.
Right. I've come back down to the garages. I've actually caught up with the team who stuck it on pole position. I've got Matt Maxted here and Graham as well. Matt, it wasn't you put it on pole though, was it?
Unfortunately not, no. Tommy, he just come out of a blinder. In practice, we put him out, he done one lap and got it in the first lap we've done in the 3-minute deads. Same again in quali, we gave him the whole time because he's proved to be the fastest out of the 3 of us. And yeah, put us away.
It's nice to put it on pole, isn't it? Because it gives you confidence that there's the pace in the car, but over 24 hours, does it make a huge difference being on pole?
Not really. We want to be kind of be top 6, don't we? Just being there, not there at the moment, you know, get that little pack moving away. But yeah, it's always a bonus. Nice to have a few dragging nights, I suppose, to get it. And the good thing is we're all really close. We're about half a second.
Yeah, we're right close to each other on time, which makes more of a difference over 24 hours.
Well, I know you're a quick driver. I know that from experience. What's the game plan today? Is there a strategy? Do you have target lap times that you're trying to hit, or is it just let's just see what we can do?
As fast as possible and survive. If anyone that saw this race 2 years ago, they saw that not many cars finished here without any damage. And so if you can survive the traffic and survive without getting hit, then you're in a good chance to win.
I have to say, Matt, every time I see you, your hair just gets a little bit longer as well. What's it going to be like next year?
You'll see. Maybe down here. You start plaiting it if you want.
I wouldn't know how to, mate. Guys, best of luck for the race. Cheers, enjoy it. And we'll catch you later. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
Well, here they come then, up towards the start of the race then. Here we go with the Silver Lake Citron C1 24-hour race here at Silverstone for 2021. Team Fake Shake and Bake on pole position. Tommy Field, Graham Coombs and Matt Maxted, their drivers, lead the way into Cox Corner for the first time. This huge field of 58 Citron C1s, like a swarm of multicoloured insects. They head their way up towards Maggots and Beckett's for the first time. It is the pole sitting car that has held its early lead. Fan out 2 and 3 and 4 abreast in the early stages here. I mean, last time this race was run 2 years ago, they had 99 of these cars on the grid, and the car that started 99th and last ended up winning the race. So a couple of cars running wide there already out onto the grass. Always a pretty chaotic start to these Citron C1 races because there's just so many of them out there. Fake Shake and Bake lead the way then, sponsored by Gaz Shocks. You noticed in the interview the t-shirts that the team were wearing, all part of the fun and enjoyment of this event. Start to sort themselves out then in the early stages. There's the 488 car, that's Roll Centre Racing, that's Martin Short's team, very experienced sports car racer and preparer. He's raced at Le Mans a large number of times. His sons Morgan and Marcus in that car, and also vastly experienced racer Ian Stinton completing that lineup. Just over a minute into this race, a long way to go yet. First 2 cars starting to break away a little in the early stages. Start to settle in, but 24 hours of great racing, great camaraderie in the paddock, and great enjoyment for everyone involved, drivers, officials, marshals, teams alike. Brilliant sight they make out there. They race on into the night. Many of the cars decorated with LEDs and neons, all adding to the spectacle of this event as they race on into the night. The likes of AB Motorsports, Hybrid Tune and our pole sitters fighting it out towards the front of the field, but every team deserving full credit.
Right, we're down in the pit with Robin, the owner of the C1 Club. How's the event going so far?
Yeah, really good actually. It's not without its dramas, as a 24-hour race normally is. We've got a fair few cars, engine changes, there've been some accidents, a car's rolled, another car's gone into another car, so there's been a bit of an accident there. So we've got car 316, which is down there at the moment. They've been doing an engine change for about 3 hours now. They've just about got it running, so hopefully that'll be back out soon. So car 309 is being repaired, and that had a crash earlier on that went in the back of Team Ladybird. Team Ladybird actually volunteered, because the front of their car was written off, but the front was okay. So they said, hey, you can have the front of our car to repair the front of your car. So they're repairing the front of their car, but it turned out the engine was broken in the crash. So they've also had to replace the engine. Now they've got the engine running again, they've got electrical issues with the car. So they're having a real bad time of it at the moment. But they're still smiling, they're enjoying it, you know, it's club racing. So they're just getting it done. Other comical things, it's not good, but it's we've got car 421 has been they've been trying to get him in for over an hour now. He needs to see they want him in for a technical infringement, and he's just been going round and round and round and round. The driver hasn't seen the board, so that's a bit of a strange one. But yeah, everything else is going really good. I'm just going to actually update and see if the lead has changed, but when I last checked, yeah, so we've got Kevin Maxted's team, which is Fake Shake and Bake, leading. Matt Maxted put that on pole, and they started the race on pole, really good team. Matt Maxted is actually a driver that used to race on my team before I bought C1 Club. I used to have my own team in this championship, and that driver, Matt Maxted, was on my team. He's a really good guy. We can go up and see him in a little bit. Progressive AB Motorsport, car 394 in second at the moment, and we've got Progressive Motorsport in car 521 in third, and they're all really good. They're all on the lead lap, which is it's really nice. So in fact we got the first 7 cars all on the lead lap, which is really good for this time of night. They've got a race on their hands. They can't afford to back off at all.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say we've completed about 100 laps so far. We've got about 18 hours remaining, but the atmosphere in the pits is still quite electric for the time of night. You know, it's a really good atmosphere all around. Everyone seems good with each other. You say how people are helping each other out to get cars back out on track. Just how good is it to have such a good atmosphere within the club?
It's great. It's what club racing is all about. Everyone's here. You know, people pay to go club racing. You don't get paid. And people want to have a good time, and that's what people are doing. They're having a good time. They're coming along to do a 24-hour race with their friends, and that's what's really important with this series. You know, people are coming along. It's not a commercial thing. It's fun. You know, yes, it's competitive. Really, it's competitive. But people are generally here with a group of friends, and they want to have fun. And it's like, you've seen the atmosphere. Everyone's loving it. And what time? You know, what we're 11:45, and it's just brilliant. As I say, you wouldn't know it. I wouldn't know. I've been up since 7 o'clock this morning. It's absolutely fine, and you know, I'm going to push through all night with these boys, support them. You know, it's brilliant. That's what it's about.
And who would you say your money's on? Is it going to stay the same overnight, or who do you think is going to edge this one in the end?
So me and a friend of mine were talking about this before the race started. I'm a little bit biased because Kevin Maxted, Fake Shake and Bake, he's a friend of mine. Kevin helped us when we were Team Sailor V. So when we used to run in this championship, Kevin helped us, and his son Matt raced in our team. So I'm loving that Shake and Bake are winning at the moment. I'd love it if they win. It would be it'd be lovely for me if they win. In the same respect, everyone else is lovely people. It's a real good bunch of people. So whoever wins is going to really deserve it. But you know, there's a small place in my heart that if Shake and Bake can keep it up, I'd be that'd be brilliant.
Well, sounds great. Hopefully we'll catch up again towards the end of the event.
Thank you. Cheers.
The night rolled on at Silverstone and slowly begins to turn back into day. Typically foggy sunrise over the Silverstone circuit. The quickest team, the Hybrid Tune full circle racing car of Steve and Mark James, David Meenan and Sam Weller, proving one of the quickest. The majority of the teams running relatively trouble-free throughout the night.
How was the session? We've got a bit of sun out. It certainly looks nice from a spectator's point of view. How is it out there on the track?
Well, we were sort of like second stint in on our tyres, so they were starting to sort of degrade towards the end of the stint, and the sun didn't really help. It would be a bit better if we kept it a little bit cooler. But the whole time we've sort of been dealing with like a power issue, like we seem to be a little bit down on power in the straight lines.
What has that meant in terms of qualifying then? Because you were, what, third on the grid, sort of 3 flats, but then you drifted outside of that. But you've posted a few sub-3s as well. So these weird and wonderful cars, what's going on?
We think what's happened is our cat might have collapsed, and it's basically rattling around inside the container, and it might have just started to turn again. But you sort of rattle over a few curves and then you sort of get it back again, and then it sort of goes away.
Like the old days where you used to have to smack the side of the television to get the picture back.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of bump drafting going on. You're sort of using everyone as like a bit of a hammer to sort of try and jiggle it into the right place and sort of make a pass down the inside.
It's a full team effort here. You were literally straight out of the seat after your session there, on the jack, changing the tyres. You all look like you're having such a great time racing here though.
Yeah, I'm sort of like a mechanic, is sort of like a day job, so I think I was a bit more proficient on the wheels, so we're sort of calling it the motorsport triathlon. And next thing will be to change like a full set of tyres, I think, and then go back out yourself.
Proper busman's holiday. Well, talk to me about the sort of tyres and the fuel as well. How many tyres are you going to go through in this race? Sort of how much fuel are you going to use? Give us an idea of the sort of full racing picture.
I think sort of like front tyres, we're basically doing 2 stints on those. So 2 drivers will use the same set of fronts. Rears, we're sort of like picking and choosing, so in the night we managed to run a bit longer on the rears. Now that it's sort of heating up, we might change to newer rears to sort of loosen the car up again. Because as the rear sort of bed in, you end up with loads of understeer, and then you can't get the car to rotate in the high speed stuff.
Your stints, how do you think you've driven personally?
We're doing alright. I'm sort of like keeping a consistent pace, but I'm not as quick as the 2 or 3 other guys in the car. Yeah, Ben Simmons and Tom Griffiths are properly smashing it, but they've got a bit more experience than me.
And you're currently running 9th as it stands. Obviously you qualified a lot higher than that. How does your current performance fit with your expectations? What with all the troubles you've had with the car and everything?
I think we're doing quite well actually, because I think basically after Ben's first stint in the car when we had the issues, we dropped all the way down to like 25, 26 or something. I then jumped back in the car and sort of like spoke to it gently and eased it in, and we managed to get into the top 10 again.
So you're like the horse whisperer for this car. You're the secret to the success. Have you got another stint?
I might do, or we might just swap me out for a faster driver in the end, just to see if we can place any higher.
I think you'd be an incredibly modest. Thank you very much for having a chat. Good luck for the rest of the race. Cheers.
Thank you.
Well, we rejoin the track action here at Silverstone into the final 5 minutes or so of this Silver Lake Citron C1 24-hour race, and all set to win our team hybrid tune full circle racing. Stephen, Mark James, David Meenan and Sam Weller leading the way on the same lap as the AB Motorsport Karts number 394. We see there Oliver Elwood, Brian Trott and Stuart Simons, regular Mazda MX-5 racers. There's the 445 car further down the order, Emax Motorsport, Chris Stewart, Greg Owens, John Proctor, Ethan Davis and Alex Port, the crew members in that team. But every team deserves recognition for a wonderful effort here at Silverstone. 439, the orange machine, that's the Team Dynamics sponsored car. Nicole Drought, Craig Smith, Georgia Speed, and also Henry Neal, son of long-time British touring car racer Matt Neal, in among that car. 511 JDC Motorsports Car Care Centre in the black car there. They're running down towards the bottom end of the top 30. He said that the majority of cars have run relatively trouble-free. Quite a few did get penalties for being towed back by the ever-busy recovery crews into the paddock. Spare a thought for Team Ladybird, car 506, the car including an ex-British touring car racer as well, Patrick Watts, the former Peugeot man, and his daughter Amy racing with him, along with Orlando Lindsay and Jarrah Venables. That car only lasted 8 laps, sadly, before it cried enough. Quite a few cars have undergone engine changes, the mechanics working hard in the paddock area. But hybrid tune, full circle racing, all set for victory ahead of AB Motorsport with Brian Trott on board. Two leading cars running together. Third place there, a lap down, Fake Shake and Bake with Team Gaz Shocks. That's Matt Maxted on board that car. The car started on pole. Exactly one lap down, I think, on the leading car there, the yellow and black number 397 hybrid tune car heading for victory. Surely nothing can stop them now. Well, having said that, a fuel mileage miscalculation on the leading car here 2 years ago meant they lost the win with about 4 corners to go, and Team Mac Attack of Declan McDonnell was able to snatch the win on the very last lap in one of the most extraordinary finishes to a 24-hour race I've ever seen. So this is first and third, running nose to tail. There's the second place car, number 394 of AB Motorsport, with Brian Trott, long-time Mazda MX-5 racer, on board. Fourth, a Team Crossacre with Joe Wiggin at the wheel, sharing with Joe and Jack Watt. And rounding out the top 5 are Prep Tech UK. Driving for them at the moment, Chris Horn, sharing with Andy Mollison, Paul Bancroft and Paul Rowland. Looks like that's going to be the finishing order. I don't think there's going to be any other major changes in the closing stages here. 394 of AB Motorsports going well. They're in second place. They started on the front row of the grid. The roll centre car still going, 488 Martin Short and his family, Ian Stinton, Westfield and Ginetta racer among many others, on board that car at the moment. They're running a little further down the order in 19th place or thereabouts. Coming towards the end of what's been a wonderful occasion of motorsport. Everybody races for enjoyment in this event. There's the camouflage liveried number 521 car. That's Progressive Motorsport in 6th place. Dave Ward, Howden Haynes and Michael Neuhoff. Neuhoff, the ex-Fiesta and VW racer, on board that car. There are drivers in this field from all walks of motorsport. We've got ex-touring car racers, ex-British GT and Le Mans racers out there, right down to the average clubmen who race purely for fun. They're all on a level playing field in these little Citron C1s, kept as equal as possible using control parts carefully controlled by the C1 Racing Club. Just 1 minute left on the clock of the 24 hours now. It is going to be Hybrid Tune Full Circle Racing who take the win. They've been running at the front for the vast majority of this race. Few cars not making the finish. We lost the likes of Riverside Performance, JW Bird Motorsports, Mad Rabbit Racing, just some of the cars sadly not making it. In fact, both of JW Bird's team cars not making it to the flag, unfortunately. Some others a lot of laps behind, but endurance racing, it is all about making the finish. It's not necessarily about winning, it is the taking part in an event like this. Clock about to count down to 0. Quick flash of the lights there from Fake Shake and Bake on the back markers there, just to warn that they're there. Don't need to be taken out of the race when there's a podium at stake on what is the last lap. Sam Weller at the wheel of the 397 car, sharing with Stephen James, Mark James and David Meenan, heading for victory here at Silverstone, down the Hanger Straight for what will be the last time. The checkered flag almost in sight. AB Motorsport on the same lap, but quite a way behind. They're just coming through Copse now to start their final lap, so they're close on half a lap apart, I would say, these two. The winner is going to complete 431 laps of the Silverstone circuit. Fake Shake and Bake are 2 laps down, in fact, on the race leader. Brian Trott bringing the 394 car home, shared with Oliver Elwood and Stuart Simons, his Mazda MX-5 teammates. Fake Shake and Bake, Tommy Field, Graham Coombs and Matt Maxted. Other notable names, Hills Motorsport in 7th place, Gary Townsend, another Mazda MX-5 regular former F1 stock car racer, on board their car. Exit 13 in 11th place. It's run by Hyundai Coupe Cup owner John Winter. Alistair Dendy, the man at the wheel for them. They're going to get their best ever finish in 11th. The sun shining on Silverstone to welcome the teams home at the end of this Silver Lake C1 Challenge 24 hours. Last few corners to go now for our race leading car, hybrid tune, full circle racing. It's coming through the loop now up towards the Wellington Straights. Everybody in the pit area will be waiting on the pit wall to greet them. Very tired but very happy. I doubt many of the teams will have got any sleep during this 24-hour event. You just can't take your eyes off the track during an event like this. A couple of cars struggling slowly, possibly running low on fuel, coming home there. Here comes our leading car. There is the 397 through Brooklands for the last time into Luffield. They will head towards the start-finish line and the checkered flag. There is the checkered flag. Hybrid tune, full circle racing, completing 431 circles of Silverstone to take the Silver Lake C1 Challenge 24-hour victory. They were in the leading group all the way through. Brilliant victory by over 40 seconds ahead of AB Motorsport. The rest of the pack a couple of laps behind them. Fake Shake and Bake with Team Gaz Shocks in third place, then Team Crossacre will take fourth. PrepTech UK with CEX will complete the top five, then Progressive Motorsport, Hills Motorsports, Auto Farm, the second hybrid tune car, and Silver Lake Racing completing the top 10 in the results. Good result for Exit 13, just outside the top 10 as well. But the celebrations will be for the number 397 car of hybrid tune full circle racing and their four drivers. The rest of the pack makes it home. There's our second place car across the line, AB Motorsports. They'll be overjoyed with their podium. Brian Trott's bringing them home. It's the 397 car on top, and their team will be absolutely elated down in the pit lane. Certainly tired, but probably now still full of energy and ready to celebrate what has been a dominant drive and a cracking race victory here at Silverstone.
Well, you've got a hat, sunglasses and a mask on, so it's difficult to tell. You certainly sound full of energy, but you must be absolutely exhausted. That is some way to spend 24 hours.
Yeah, none of us really have slept. We've all done a lot of stints in the car, so it's pretty hot today. So yeah, adrenaline at the minute. I'll probably be asleep on the way home, but
hey, you deserve it, you deserve it. Look, 24 hours, there we go, look at that. P1 for 397. 24 hours racing, but of course it is so much more than that. So many more people. Give us an idea of what it takes to actually win this race, not just turning up on the day and smashing it with your team.
I mean, there's a lot of thought about the car, obviously, and the way they run them, but there's also loads of thought about the strategy. When you do your fuel, when you do your driver changes, when you take your tyres, just trying to be as slick as possible. We have to practice pit stops, the refueling, every single little bit of it. You've got to cover every single little bit if you want to win.
The marshals and the teams applaud the drivers into the pit lane then. Led home by hybrid tune full circle racing. Have also had another car in the top 10 in 9th place, the 388 car. Ben Simons, Tom Griffiths, James Down and Ian Mockett, their drivers. But it's Steve James, Mark James, Sam Weller and Dave Meenan who take the victory at the Silver Lake C1. 24 hours of celebrations starting already. Marshals and the officials signalling full credit to all the volunteer marshals and other officials, to the recovery crews and everybody else who could not have made that race possible without them. A wonderful occasion as always. The C1 24-hour race here at Silverstone proved to be. Last couple of cars still making their way round towards the finish, waved home by the marshalling team. Pleasure to be part of this event once again. That's about all from this edition of Full Throttle. Thank you very much indeed for watching. We'll have more first-class UK motorsport for you very soon indeed in our next edition of the programme. But for now, thanks very much indeed for watching, and goodbye.